take it a little slower. Wake up, Rick.
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more.
Boom. We're live. We are back. How's everybody doing? Mark, how was your viewing experience? I don't have a great intro to this week. But yeah, how was your intro? How was your intro?
The intro was not good. No, you gotta keep that in.
We're gonna take a pause. Oh, it's gonna stay in. I don't have to shit at all. I'm gonna take 30. We're gonna just breathe. Peek behind the curtain. We're doing this a day early than what we were supposed to do it. And I watched a lot of fucking horror movies right before for an episode that didn't happen. So
Cody's gonna be a changed man by the end of the show versus what he was at the beginning.
I'll tell you. I thought my biggest accomplishment would be TV Chronicles. Joke's on me. Mark, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
It was not bad. It was a little rushed. Be honest, a little bit rushed. Is sitting there, getting home from doing work for the day, and it's got a message like, "Hey, could we do this a day earlier?" And I'm like, "Well, I got 6 episodes to watch, so let's see if we can knock that out."
I thought it was just Mad Men. So it was The Shield too.
It was also The Shield. Like, let's see if we can knock this out.
He concealed that from us. Matt, you normally watch this on the weekend, so you were probably okay for any day. But
yeah, I was good.
How was your viewing experience this week?
I feel bad for Mark. I'm sure he probably wanted to get a nice scotch and just sit there and kind of slowly watch Mad Men, and we made him kind of rush through them. But
detailed.
This was definitely a good week to have 4 Mad Men's, and I have never been happier that there was only 2 Shields this week because it was rough. But we'll get into that. Cody, how was your experience?
Yeah, so I'm thankful for these guys. We do the show at, peek behind the curtain. This comes out weekly. We also do this show weekly. We are taping every week, every Thursday is when we record. And I don't go to the movies a lot, but my wife is leaving town this weekend. She said, "Hey, why don't you go to the movies on Thursday?" And I said, "Fuck yeah." I don't go hardly at all. So I booked 2 tickets. I said, Superman, Jurassic Park, deal. I'll just do a double feature, go. I booked both of them. I walk in about, I'm like, oh, this time to this time, no problem, nothing else. What else do I have? Nothing else on Thursday. I go, I open my Facebook Messenger. I have one of my messages pinned to the top. It's TV Chronicles. And I go, shit. Oops. Matt always sees movies, but he sees one. I was like, well, hopefully, let's see. What Friday? What we got going on? Nothing. Let's just try it. So appreciate the accommodations. I'm interested. Most weeks, I'm interested to come in here and talk about The Shield. This week, not really, but it's not like I'm not Oz level of
it'll bounce back, don't worry.
But it was just it's like a roller coaster that's really fast, and you get to the thing and you're stopping. No, there's got to be more track than this. Wait a minute, did we miss a loop? Did they shut it down for some reason? So that's just the interesting side effect of what it was. But yeah, I've told these guys before we got on call, it is really surprising that we are doing a show about the organized New Jersey mob. A corrupt strike team in Southern California that kill cops. And the biggest scumbag of the entire things that we're watching is a man in New York City in an ad agency. Didn't have that on my bingo card. He may sweep the rest of the season. I don't know what happened, but jeez.
I think we only got one person competing with him for this week, but we'll get into that later.
I might be back on like Team Betty. Like, I may have just swung back. Maybe she, like, the stuff he does in this, he may have done some stuff that made her like fucked up. I don't know, but I'm a little lost. But before we go there, we're gonna go to the only 2 episodes. We have 4 of Mad Men. We're gonna finish with 3 of the Sopranos, and we'll do Bad Guys of the Week. And then again, reminder. Basically, this won't affect you guys at all watching this. Basically, right after this one ends, the next one will begin, and it will be Succession, True Detective, and The Leftovers. HBO Max sponsored 3 seasons, 4 seasons, whatever the seasons are of the shows. Okay, so Matt, take it away, I guess.
All right, so we're going to go jump into The Shield, Season 6, Episode 7, Exiled. We start off with Shane is at a motel somewhere. He's just frantically going through files, just kind of writing up about all the stuff that Vic and the strike team have done over the last couple of years. Then we get Vic meeting with Ronnie and telling him, yep, as we figured it, Shane killed Lem, so they're going to have to deal with that now. Then we get Vic goes and meets with Hernan, the informant who's in there with the El Salvadorians. He tells Vic that he's got a new handler that he doesn't trust and he might need a lifeline. Vic says he's going to help him out. So Hernan asks him to set up a raid for later on that date, so in order to kind of help protect his cover. Then we get Ronnie and Vic back at the barn. Hyatt and Claudette tell them about a shooting at an El Salvador festival, which could be retaliation for the San Marcos massacre. The shooting was done by 6 Bizlat gang members. The assistant chief of police comes in and tells Claudette he's going to get 2 other departments to help out the barn with these, which Claudette feels like that's just kind of his way of kind of slowly separating the barn to kind of tear it down. Mara shows up asking Vic if he's seen Shane because he didn't come home. She tells him that she knows about Lem and that she also knows that Vic met with Shane last night, which Vic responds by just like subtly threatening her baby, just a little, Vic stuff.
Yeah.
The strike team does go out and they do the raid, but Hernan already got the bosses out. He calls them while they're there and he talks to Vic, tells them to look in the trash can, which contains the address for where he and the bosses are currently. Then we get Aceveda comes to the barn and Claudette tells him about the other departments getting involved. She also tells him that, hey, I'm going to need those extra bodies you were talking about because we're going to do a big gang sweep to get the Mexican and Salvadorian gangs. Aceveda goes and talks to Cruz, the land developer guy, so he can kind of try to help spin positively with the press. Aceveda tells them about the undercover operative that they are working with on this, and Cruz agrees to help. Shane finally goes home, and Mara yells at him a little bit. She tells him what she told Vic, all about Lem and all that stuff, so Shane's a little bit upset. Shane tells her that Vic won't say anything because Shane knows everything that Vic's done. He's got all the dirt on him. But just to be careful, Shane tells her to go pack a bag just in case they need to get out of town in a hurry. Then we get the ICE agent Talbert, which is Hernan's handler, comes to the barn upset that they are running an operation involving his guy, which Claudette tells him, we don't answer to you, get to stepping. The sweeps, they happen. They are able to arrest all the targets, including Hernan, in order to keep his cover. They question him at the barn, and he tells them that the Salvadorians did the San Marcos massacre as a message to the Mexicans that they want a piece of their operation. They ask him to help bring peace between the two groups, and he says he might be able to swing that if they can get the fair shooters turned in. So Hyatt and Vic tell the Bizlat leader that giving up the shooters will kind of settle things down a little bit, and he offers to give up 3 of the 6 shooters. Nice fair compromise. So the strike teams goes and gets them. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Shane goes and visits Gilroy's widow and kind of asks her for the Mexican contacts that he was using to get money down to Mexico for him. Then she goes and sees Vic at the barn. She catches him in a lie and kind of is like she's not trusting him anymore. She just tells him to take care of Shane. And then later on, Claudette goes and visits with her. And she tells Claudette that Vic and Shane both asked her about Gilroy's Mexican contacts. Claudette tells Vic that Shane put in a transfer back to Vice, but they are still going to be working together for the next 2 weeks while Vic is still there, which Vic says he doesn't have a problem with that, so that's going to be fine.
Yeah, no problem.
Mara and Corrine spend some time together. And we pretty much find out that Corrine just tells her that she stays out of Vic's business. She doesn't want to know any of that stuff. Mara tells her that Vic has just as much to lose as Shane. So that's kind of interesting, kind of seeing the difference between the two of them and how much they want to be complicit in their husband's or ex-husband's actions. Shane visits the Armenians to talk some business. They pretty much kind of work an agreement out. They're going to have him go and shake down a gas station guy who's working with a different group to kind of prove that he wants to work with them. And then later on in the episode, after he goes and shakes the guy down a little bit, Danny and Tina respond to a call at the gas station where they find that guy was murdered. Dutch and Billings are following up on the Mexican official Eduardo, whose arm was found at the scene of the San Marcos massacre. They visit his ex, which it was probably one of my favorite parts of the story is when they go to visit the ex, and Billings kind of tells the story about how when he was in college, he used to take girls over there and just drive around. Was like, oh, that's my parents' house, but the lights are on because we got to go to your place. So she gives them some information. They end up tracking the guy's rental car, which means they find him, minus the arm, but he does have a bag full of cash, which he quickly claims diplomatic immunity. But Claudette and Dutch find a little way around that. They kind of just seize his money and say, hey, we just got to check, make sure all this money's good. So that's going to kind of keep him in town for a little bit. Meanwhile, Hernan's handler meets up with Vic and Hyatt, but Hernan doesn't show up. And then we see Vic intercept Shane at Gilroy's widow's home and tells him to stay away from her. And he gives him the Mexican contacts. But Shane's like, I didn't want these Mexican contacts. I've learned from you. I just wanted to get you here on neutral ground. And Shane gives him the big file, the folder with all the stuff on the dirt that they've done over the years that he's written down. And he warns Vic that if anything happens to him or his family, there's another one of those that's going to go straight to Eternal Affairs. And that's kind of how we end this episode.
Episode boring. Personally. We end with the last episode basically. If I ever see you again, I'm gonna fucking kill you. What do we do 10 minutes into this thing? They see each other.
Yeah.
Shane's still alive. Like, no question though. Like, so the threat of last episode means absolutely dick. Which loses points in that department for me. Also, sure, this packet would be great, but one, it's just case files that are basically open cases that Shane is putting down some admitted material to.
Yeah.
But we've all heard Shane talk. He has the education of a third grader. So the amount of misspellings and shit inside this thing is going to seem like a kindergartner did it. So it's all hearsay anyway. So there's no like proof, like if he had guns, if he had like something to link to him. Also, the guy that is writing this dropped a grenade in his buddy's car. Like,
yeah.
And the reason he sent this and blah 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 because I don't know, he killed Lem. Like, it's an easy counterpoint. So overall, wanted the episode to be better. The problem is Shield has been heavy lifting for a while So even when it's a down one, I'm disappointed, but I really don't have any right to be disappointed because it's done well enough. So like it's allowed to have a slow episode. Just for me, I was just like, man, they put fucking Kavanaugh in jail and Shane dropping amidst the grenade, and now where are we going? Like, that's why I have concerns. You told me not to have concerns, so I will.
You can keep your concerns for like the rest of this season, but like I said, it'll bounce back next season. I think what happens, they had the big confrontation between Vic and Shane last week, and then they're like, oh shit, we got 4 episodes left.
Yeah,
so then they just kind of threw in filler story arcs.
Because couldn't that end result like say like when did the guy get chained up and die?
That was like the
episode
3rd
3?
episode, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like I think that's exactly what it seems like. Because they could have stretched that out farther.
Mm-hmm.
Him hunting down, still looking for the guy, and then episode there's 10 episodes in the season?
Yeah.
Episode 8, 9, or 10, Vic finds out.
Yeah.
Like he's now putting it to Shane, and then the end of 10 be like, if I ever see you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. End of season 7 kicks off with Shane trying to get the fuck out of Dodge while Vic is going to kill him. Yeah. That would be interesting to me. I'm not making the show is apparently good in season 7, but it feels like they didn't put it properly in place. So it's weird.
I think the beginning of the season they just worked so hard in keeping the momentum that they had going from the last season, and they didn't want to slow it down. But then, like I said, they kind of just got to the point where it was like, well, we can't go but so much further with this season. So now we just got to kind of spin our wheels for a little bit until we get to the finale, at least. But yeah.
Their contracts and episode things don't work for them.
Mm-hmm.
They have Kavanaugh for 13 episodes. They do an 11-episode season and have to put him in the front 2 of these seasons. They only do 10 episodes, but they don't know where to place the key episode. Like
FX actually wanted season 5 to be 21 episodes. And they're like,
Jesus.
No, we can't do that. So that's why they kind of split. So this is almost like season 5B. And that's at least I think that's their thinking.
We would be sitting here if this was 21 episodes and be like, they should have ended this 12 episodes ago. This is crazy.
Well, I think it's like one of FX's like first hit shows. So when it was doing good, they're like, give us more, give us more.
When did Rescue Me come out? After
it was
this?
Probably around the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Shield bigger than Rescue Me?
I think Rescue Me like had kind of flamed out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brothers were really big fans of that show, and they are pretty on they're pretty much in agreement that like it peaked around season 3 and was just kind of okay after that.
When did Sons come out?
Sons is after Shield, I think.
It was like
because the only reason
2000s.
the only reason I remember I have lasting memories of seeing Dennis Leary as Rescue Me trailers. I don't have anything of the Shield.
Yeah, Rescue Me was 2004 to 2011.
Yeah,
and Shield ran from what 2002.
Shield was
to 08.
Yeah,
2002 to 08.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Sons, I think, like I said, that was after.
I mean, it's after because
2008. Yeah, so pretty much.
The guy that
it was Kurt Sutter.
Yeah,
the guy that does episodes here does that. So.
Oh yeah, because I think a couple of the writers from this show ended up getting their own FX shows after this was all said and done.
Some executive goes, man, I really like those fucking music montages. You want to do a whole show about bikers? Let's go. Mark, what do you think of the episode?
Okay, yeah, like I think it's funny that the episode ends, episode 6 ends, and Shane is like, "Hey, I know everything, so you can't kill me. So you can't kill me, Vic." And then the ending of episode 7, he has to prove to him, "Hey, I got all these notes from all the illegal shit we did here, like just so you know, like I wrote it all down." Like,
so even if you do kill me, someone's gonna get this.
I was like, Okay,
Wait.
like I mean, like what? All right,
It's
like
it's like when Vic, he says it to Vic. He's like, "Oh, what? Yeah, learn from the best. Terry, all this stuff, did a different thing." And then he's like, "In case you didn't believe me, here's a packet." Like, buddy, you've never written a book in your life. There's no way that you who put this together for you. I don't.
And now I'm
believe
going to go team up with the Armenians.
Yeah.
Because they don't like
What?
you either.
Yeah,
I mean, sure,
And
I robbed them too, but they'll forget about that part.
I got with Terry's wife, and they hate you too.
Yeah.
We're leading the show. Like, shut up.
Well, we know
Shane.
Terry's
Look.
brother hates him, so he could have got with him.
Yeah, just like it was such like a teacher's pet, like weird moment. Like, I told you, you see these pictures? They're dead bodies, and you're responsible. Like, shut the fuck up. Like it would have been so much better for me if like Vic pulls his gun out and fucking shoots him in the head. Here's a packet. Just kills him right in his face. I would have been like, this is epic. But
No.
also, this next episode, where the fuck do they get off using this many fucking works?
Yeah,
They ran through the. You know what? They don't have 11, 12, or 13th episodes. They use the words from those into this.
Yeah, the Math of Wrath. That's definitely probably one of their smarter titles, I guess.
Dude, somebody was gleaned from ear to ear when they wrote that down. They're like, dude, you want to hear what I got for episode 8? The Math of the Wrath. Whoa.
I see what you did there.
Was the writers on strike at this point? Jeez, this one sucked.
Oh. No, I think that actually comes the next season, but I think they're able to work around that pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we start this episode off. There's an Armenian woman, Dario. She's going through her day. She visits her father at the hospital. Shane shows up, wanting to meet her father, who we find out is the Armenian gang's boss. But she says that he can talk to her instead. He's not around at the moment. He's not too happy that the gas station guy that he went and shook down kind of ended up dead. He doesn't want that coming back on him. Later on, he goes back and she meets with Shane again and says that her father's going to kind of look into it, and she gives him some money for his trouble. But she also says, like, hey, why I got you here? I need your help taking care of some crime at a couple of the apartments that we own. So Shane's going to go and do that now. He goes and gets some information from Tina about a call that was put out to one of the apartments a couple weeks ago. So Shane goes and investigates and finds out there was some people kind of robbing some of the prostitutes who are working out of the apartments there. He's able to kind of talk to one of the prostitutes after he threatens to arrest her a little bit. He ends up tracking down one of the robbers, and he kind of works out a deal with them. And then Shane also figures out that Dario's father is dying in the hospital. So he figures that out quick. He gives her the robbers' names. And then a little bit later, we find out that the robbers were found by the police unconscious with their balls cut off. So I guess that's how she was dealing with the problem. Meanwhile, Dutch and Billings talk with a woman who was attacked while buying replica purses in a bad neighborhood. They don't get why someone with money would risk going down to a bad neighborhood for a knockoff. Danny and Tina they try to explain to him a little bit, but nah. They end up bringing the guy in who assaulted her, so they take care of this case like it's nothing. And then later towards the end of the episode, Tina takes Corinne to the replica shop that's about to get closed down in the next week. So they're going to go in there and get them some bags beforehand. They get led to a shady back room and find, hey, Danny's already there getting herself a bag. So yeah, these are these stories we're getting in this episode.
Man, Dude, they had this stuff on the fucking shelf for a while and just dusted it off. They're like, dude, what? Like, we have some ladies now on this show. Like, what do we do? Like a storyline about purses? Like, crazy? Like, that's why I fucking sign up for the fucking Shield. Like,
I had to go get my wife a purse. I think we can probably work that into a story somehow.
Yeah, Dutch could have just like killed a cat or something. Like, I would have been way more on board with that shit. Like,
oh yeah, time's running out in that story. By the way, if he's gonna become a serial killer,
that's true. I may be wrong.
Once he's left, who knows what's gonna happen?
Then that episode makes no fucking sense to me.
I did notice too that when they went over to Dutch's place a couple episodes when he was trying to take Tina there, you notice when he's talking to the ice agent, you do see the kitty bowl on the floor. So that cat is still alive. So he's doing better.
But like they show tendencies of him being like crazy like that, but then they just don't act on it. So now we're just gonna think Dutch has these impulses. He's just able to keep it down. He's the fucking Bruce Banner of fucking serial killers. Like, haven't had an incident.
Some people learn by doing. Meanwhile, Aceveda is getting a lesson on redistribution of voter districts in order to kind of help him out in the next election. Cruz tells him that he's going to give him some money for the campaign and tells him that there's going to be even more money if he can hurry up and get those San Marcos massacre case closed. So Aceveda goes over to Claudette for an update, but she's kind of keeping what information she has on the lowdown, because it's get out that some of the information about the informant has kind of slipped, the undercover operative. So that's kind of spread out there. So who knows how that happens. So she's not really telling him too much. Claudette brings Vic and Shane into our office and asks what's up. I talked to the widow, and she says you guys have been bugging her about some Mexican contacts, which Shane, who is usually pretty quick on his feet, says he was following up on a lead for Lem's killer. So he's kind of able to talk himself out of that a little bit. Claudette still thinks they're up to some bullshit, but it's enough to get her off their backs for now. Hyatt and the ice handler show up. They said that Hernan has been dark for 36 hours. They haven't been able to get a hold of him. Vic tells Hyatt that he doesn't need Shane's help. And Ronnie tells Vic that, hey, I can't forgive Shane either, but we can't be making a public deal of this. We got to act like everything's business as usual for now. And Vic tells Ronnie about Shane's file and tells him that Mara also knows everything. So they're going to have to figure out something to do with that. The Bizlat leader tells Vic that they found out that there's an undercover agent with the Salvadorians, and that kind of negates the deal that they had kind of worked out. So the peace between the gangs isn't happening now. We discover a dead Salvadorian was found in an alley, but it's not Hernan. A witness, though, provides information on the car that dumped the body. I think it was Hernan's girlfriend's car or something like that. So Hernan sends his girlfriend to meet Vic to tell him they are going to be robbing a gun store tonight. So he needs help from Vic to kind of keep his cover with that. Claudette still thinks it's too risky to let them get those guns, and she wants them to stop it before it happens and arrest everybody. But Vic tells Hyatt that, hey, we can't listen to her on this one. So if we do it right, we can keep the guns out of the Salvadorians' hands and preserve Hernan's cover. So they come up with an operation to do that. They follow the Salvadorians, and then after they run the gob shop, Julian, they put him undercover in the gun shop, just give him something to do. They arranged a police checkpoint where for them to run into, which the Salvadorians do. They just leave their car and they steal Shane's car. I guess they kind of planted that there for him. But so they get the guns, but Claudette is not happy with Hyatt letting Vic kind of influence him. Hyatt, who I guess was upset that Claudette yelled at him a little bit, tells Vic that Claudette has no intention of keeping him. Vic thanks him and tells him that they're going to be working together for a long time because Claudette isn't the only player at the table. Vic's got something in his back pocket. So Shane and Ronnie have a chat. Shane blames Vic and says that he has no beef with Ronnie. And Shane also tells Ronnie that Vic killed Terry. Vic meets with Hernan's girlfriend, and she tells him that Hernan is on a plane to El Salvador tonight. So it seems that he used Vic to either help him get deeper undercover, or he's just switching sides. I don't really think the show was super clear on that. And this is the last time we see Hernan. I don't even know if they even mention him again after all of this. Ronnie-esque.
Wouldn't be the first character that they just completely just not exist anymore. Julian was married. We all remember that arc. Like married and trying for a child. Aggressively having sex, and we never heard of her again.
I mean, he's probably doing that same thing every night for like the last 2 years. Ronnie asked Vic about Terry. Ronnie tells him that he wishes Vic would have told him up front so he could have helped him from the beginning, protect him better. Which I feel like Ronnie kind of had suspicions this whole time, but now it's confirmed. But Ronnie doesn't seem to care. He knew that Terry wasn't going to be good for them, so he would have supported Vic. And then Shane meets with Dirio again, and she gives him the money, as well as the names of the people who were behind killing the gas station attendants. And she tells him that now that her father's just about, I don't think he died at the end of this, so yeah, but he's pretty much gone. So she's going to work to kind of take over, and she's going to have him to help her do it. So, yeah. It gets better, I promise.
Yeah.
I was glad you mentioned that, you weren't sure where the Hernan thing was going. Because I was like kind of going back, like, did I miss something here? Like, what? Like, is this like going somewhere? And like,
I don't know if he's trying to get deeper undercover to go higher up in the organization, or I honestly think he just switching sides. He's like, I'm done being a cop. I can live so much better in El Salvador, like as a lieutenant in this thing.
And then you're like, yeah, it's also the last time we see him. Like, the fuck? Okay, like.
Yeah. Like I said, there's filler episodes and there's filler story arcs, which this is with like 3 episodes just to kind of fill in this season a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I was kind of looking this up just because you were kind of saying it. I mean, you were kind of saying it before that they initially intended to have this just be the rest of season 5, which seems kind of nuts. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, there is some truth to that. Then definitely because these last 2 episodes should have just been 1 episode. Like everything that we saw here just could have been the thing. Like him gathering, the evidence for Vic, and then him telling Ronnie. Like that could just be 1 full episode, and it would have been like if it was just one thing, it would have felt like a like solid pacing in that respect.
No, yeah.
But it just I don't know. Like I'm curious where we end off here. Like it just to set up to what actually is going to be.
I don't think
the
we're
ending
going
of
to
the
end
show
off very well at all. I think it's going to be a wet fart.
Yeah,
I think we're heading
for this season.
I think we're heading for a dud of season 6. But my thing is, their pacing was wrong. Their pacing. You have the smallest penis. Sorry, loudest trucks in the world. My thing is, Kavanaugh dies, or Kavanaugh goes to jail. 3 episodes of him hunting down, capturing, torturing, and side missions of like Mexicans coming back to try to find him, and like gang war, whatever you could have created. You could have created some intrigue, which Vic knew. Then he had to end it. Then 3 episodes of Vic putting pieces together that is Shane while the department is on his ass. Final episode, he confronts Shane. We don't need Shane saying, "I know what you did," because you did it together. You fucking idiot! Like it doesn't matter. Like the department's already trying to get him out. They're trying to this is the Ricky Ricardo fucking thing all over again. They have a plan and then something happens like shit.
I also bet you what I bet you probably happened is that probably when they killed Lemoff, they was like, okay, so now we're going to go into our final season. But they're like, no, you got 2 more seasons. So like, okay, I guess we'll have to kind of stretch this out.
This is why we got to respect people like Vince Gilligan and stuff. People that they're like, oh, I want this many. I got 5 for you. But we're doing 5, and I'm not doing any. Well, what if? Nope, we're doing 5. Like not. It's like because it's a tough. It's a this. The thing is, this is going to be the most like this of a season because how it started.
Oh yeah.
If you go to episode 6
Mm-hmm.
and how it starts, and then direct after, it is a complete tonal difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kavanaugh's like confrontation, all that stuff. Vic, the problem is you give him a threat like if I see you again, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and then instantly sees him. That makes no sense to anybody that's watching. Oh, you're gonna have to work with him 2 weeks before there's a transfer going in. Fine, no problem.
I guess just feel like they're gonna have to see. I just thought they're gonna have another season. They were like, hey, like we're gonna in the middle of the season, we are gonna have Vic figure it out. I just figured, 4 more episodes down the pike, we're gonna have something else. Like I don't know what it is. Honestly, I thought it would have been this Hernan thing. I thought that would have been like kind of the. Then you're telling me, nah, this is it. Like, okay,
I mean, they could still be dealing with the San Marcos massacre and all that stuff, but yeah, he's pretty much out from here.
Oh, you mean that thing that I was pretty sure we were just not gonna go back to from the premiere? Like, I was shocked we ever got back to that. The San Marcos like massacre thing. Like, I thought, oh, this is gonna be something we just saw, and then we're just gonna go away from.
Because I would have been anti this, but you know what should have happened? Flashback episode.
Mm-hmm.
They should at least done a flashback or something like and they could have created a storyline for the end of the season just on a flashback.
Oh yeah,
something that stirs up that doesn't, and they can solve it real quick. Remember, they solve serial killers and serial rapists within an episode. You can pretty much.
And it also hurts too that I was going to say that the B stories these last 2 episodes have been garbage too. Like Dutch and Billings, they got some nice banter and stuff. They aren't really giving them anything to do. And then this one that had a whole thing about like counterfeit purses and stuff like that. That's not this show.
Unfortunately, that went down with as the Vic and the Shane stuff went down. It peaked around the same time.
Because in the early seasons, you usually have like when one storyline maybe isn't the strongest, the other storyline is really doing like the Dutch and Claudette stuff is going really good, versus the Strike Team's going really good. And when you get the really good episodes when both of them are just like firing on all cylinders, but yeah, at least these last 2 episodes, it looks like I'm looking at the scores on IMDb, and it says the next one's scores are a little bit higher, so maybe it'll bounce back a little bit. But I don't remember how this season ends. Like I could tell you how all the other seasons end, but I don't have the slightest clue in where they're going. So that's not a good sign.
That fucking sucks.
You're not hyping this up. Like next,
like that. Even my least favorite,
though.
even the episodes of Breaking Bad that I didn't love, I can tell you exactly what happens in them. You telling me I don't know the season finale of 6 ends. God, we're heading for a fucking dumpster.
Just to give you guys like a view for next week, I think this season of Mad Men, isn't as good as the previous 2. I remember how this season ends, though. I'm not just sitting there like, man, like, oh, what happens?
Like I remembered the stuff that happened in the first 6 episodes.
The man just stopped watching. Like, all right, I'll just come back for the next season. I
thought that was the season finale when Vic and Shane had their confrontation. See you guys next year.
Speaking of Mad Men, let's talk about Mr. Despicable.
Let's talk about some good TV.
All right, yeah.
Still waiting for him, Pete, to be redeemed at some point. But let me tell you, never going to happen for this one guy.
But he's taking care of his mama now.
I mean, I feel like at the very least, at this point, this is the type of Pete storylines you guys can get behind for one very simple reason, which they will become clear later on. Yeah, this is a good going. Episode 7, Man of Plan. Here Don, I guess he was gonna, pay a visit to Sylvia, but instead he overhears an argument between her and Arnold as he's going off somewhere, and then he just makes a hasty retreat. They then have CGC moving in all their people into the Sterling Cooper offices, so everybody's making nice there, and they're all becoming acquainted with each other, figuring out where they're going to be and kind of who they're working with. We then have the partners have a meetup. They are discussing personnel changes and like who's taking over for certain accounts and such. Bit of a awkward moment where Pete doesn't have a chair, and he has to figure out who's going to give him a chair.
Play some musical chairs, yeah.
Pete then gets called out of the meeting because apparently his mother is at his apartment, and the landlord or like key guy, like handyman guy, is like, yeah, I don't know what to do. He's like, and Pete's like, yeah, just make her a gin and tonic. Yeah, I'll be right there. Just give me a second.
He keep getting pulled out of the things when big things are happening. Just don't want to like what now?
I was already late for the meeting. I got there after dawn.
Don then gets a desperate call from Sylvia. She says, "Yeah, I need you, and nothing else will do." And it's like Don is like, "Oh, really? Okay. I want you to meet me at this hotel."
Flip the switch in his head.
Like, I'm really busy at work, but okay, you put it like that. Then Roger. Oh yeah, this is a funny scene. Roger just fires Bert again, and just kind of. I don't know if it makes any difference, but nobody fought for you.
I just love when he looks and goes, "All of my accounts are gonna go with you." Sure they are, Bert.
He start out like you know how you don't realize how good something happened until afterwards, so you don't get to do it again. I'm gonna save her this time.
That was funny. Don. Then Don gets to the hotel, and like him and Sylvia get into this real like sub dom like sexual
some 50
thing.
Shades of Dom going on here.
Yeah, like he's like saying, "Hey, why don't you crawl on your hands and knees, find my shoes? Why don't you get naked and just go back in the bed, don't answer the phone." It's kind of, I don't know. Maybe Don seems like real sex positive. I don't know. Like, was this like a thing back then?
Enjoying it, so I don't know.
I mean, I wrote that down. Like, Sylvius is kind of into it. Like it. I mean, something about that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like he's hitting her or anything.
That we know of.
We then see Ted acclimate
himself. If I ever hear
What?
fucking Don Draper say, "Get on your knees and crawl like a dog to my shoes," it was literally like that meme where the camera pans and that guy said, "Okay," like I was just sitting there like, "Can this be over?" Like, I don't give a fuck about this at all. Like, this is horrible. Like, I don't care how positive that's fine, but like. Now he's like fucking Christian Grey. Like, it's like, come on, you don't answer that phone. Don't get out of that bed. Blah blah blah. And also, she's a very bad submissive person. She doesn't follow really any of the fucking rules ever. Go get on your hands and knees. Goes and grabs the shoes and then gets underneath.
I don't know. She didn't answer that phone. He was calling. He's like,
yeah, because her hands were kind of busy at the moment.
All right. Other than that, we see Ted and acclimate himself with a new creative team. They're working on a margarine account. He's trying to figure out who knows stuff about margarine. But Don was a little bit preoccupied. He shows up and but he gets a little upset that they met without him. And then Ted was like, "Well, you're 40 minutes fucking late. Like, it's not like we're gonna wait around forever." Like, Don then goes over for a bit bit of a peace offering. He goes over there. It's like, hey, we brought some liquor. Why don't we have just a little jam sesh, about margarine, and they drink, talk about margarine. And Ted, let's say Ted is not like as seasoned a drinker as Don is. So that's where that goes. Pete is then informed that he's gonna be the one taking care of his mom. His brother was like, "Hey, we already dealt with her. She's already gone through all the caretakers in our area. My wife's had it up to here of her. It's up to you. Just leave her with Trudy and be glad you get to go to work. All right, go with God." Pete and so Pete's is gonna have to deal with his mom for foreseeable future. Bob then also helps Joan out of the office. She's feeling a bit under the weather, have like some stomach issues, and he's actually able to help her, get seen at the hospital, by telling little lies. So a little bit of Bob and Joan action there. Then see Don.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a step up from her usual picking guys. So
I mean, Bob seems like an all right guy. Like
Bob is great. Bob
Yeah.
great. Bob is top compared to the people she has picked. Creepy Jaguar guy, military man that forced themselves in fucking Roger. Clients don't even want Roger. Like, what the fuck are you talking?
Right. Yeah. Don then comes back to sex up Sylvia more like sub dom stuff. Things like that.
see, now this is where he gets bad guy though, because he takes her book this time when he leaves.
Yeah, I mean, he said she can't do anything. He's just making sure she follows the rules. You then see Frank Gleason try to give Ted some advice how to deal with Don. Because he got all drunk talking to all the creative people, and then Peggy didn't like that too much. He's like, "Hey, Don, like I know what you're doing. Like, don't fuck with Ted, okay? Like don't have him rub off on you. Like we don't need any of that." Pete then has to deal with another situation with his mother. She was doing something, started a fire or whatever, and they wanted to reschedule this Mohawk meeting because they were wanting to show the Mohawk people they were important. And Ted didn't really like that anymore. He's like, well, no, we can't push back this meeting. We want to tell them how important they are. And Don is like, well, I'm ready to go. You want to just go, Ted? It's like, yeah, sure. Let's just fly over in my plane because apparently Ted knows how to fly.
Fuck yeah.
He says,
what kind of plane you got? Mohawk. What the fuck are you talking about?
So they head out of there, and then Don, he's asking Don, hey, what kind of strategy you think we got to go with? It's like, I don't know. Doesn't matter what the fuck I say. We're gonna show up with you flying a plane over there. It's not like they're gonna be listening to me. Then see Bob. He then comes back over to check on Joan, and the mother thinks that he's interested, and the mother thinks that Joan should go for Bob. Guess the mother thinks that Joan's into real thin-lipped men. Pete then tells the secretary that he needs to be at things. If I'm not at things, it's not good for you because then I won't be here anymore. So Pete is feeling the pressure here of not being included after the merger. And then Dom shows back up at the hotel after the Mohawk meeting, and Sylvia is like, hey, funny thing, I dreamt that you had died in the plane crash, and I realized I didn't really feel much of anything after you died. So I can just imagine seeing Megan at the funeral. So yeah, I don't think we should do this anymore. And then Don tries to keep up the Dom side a little bit, and then he reverts to being just a pathetic guy who just really wants to keep his affair going.
Excuse me? No, please. Listen to me.
Where am I going to find someone on the floor below me?
So at least for the time being, that affair is donezo. Then we get to a partners meeting where they're doing the final personnel changes, and Bob is almost fired, But then Joan throws in a comment about him being needed for all Ken's accounts, and then Jim was like, "All right, fine, we'll just get rid of this other guy." He's like, "We done here?" Like, so Joan was able to save Bob's job. We then see Don and Sylvia share a very awkward elevator ride up. And then Don just tries to very poorly reacclimate himself to his marriage. And then as he's trying to do that, the night after, apparently Bobby Kennedy was shot and killed. And then Don is just sitting there thinking about, I guess, Bobby Kennedy and his sham life at this point. And that's the end of Man with a Plan.
Yeah, this is a fun episode. It's fun seeing the two agencies trying to regroup now. I love that Peggy got the office with the column in it. That's that kind of a running gag that we've had this season with people not liking that office. And kind of seeing, it's cool seeing Don and Ted kind of interacting and working together / against each other at the same time. But yeah, all the Don Sylvia stuff of this episode is just, whew. But yeah, good episode.
This is going to end this on paper. I think this setup as a office is going to end horribly. It seems like these two are made for two different companies. And I know they're merging for bigger things, but one actually does work, and the rest of them looks like they just luck into fucking everything. I don't Don just says something, and everybody's like, "Sounds good to me." I don't know. It's just.
Wait, you let people show up 40 minutes late and then cancel meetings with clients?
It's Don, another partner, the guy has no problem. 40 minutes? What the hell? I'm like, whoa, this is day one. Why do you? And Don's like, why don't you calm the fuck down? And just starts pulling out fucking whiskey and starts that's what they do in this office, buddy.
Can we calm the fuck down? I gotta go in there and take a nap.
What are we doing? Let me tell you, if HR was around back then, one of these is getting shut down before the others even existed. But yeah, it's a fun episode. I like them merging together as one, kind of like what I wanted when they created this new environment, and to see the startup and how it all works. I'm kind of getting that in this, so I'm enjoying that. But let me tell you, things I could wish to never see again is Don Draper being a dom. This poor woman that's it was stay in that hotel room. Stay in that hotel room. Oh, fuck off! What? I'm an adult.
It was his way to end the affair and make it seem like it was her idea. It's all part of his plan.
And then anything with an ass and tits that walks by him is I could possibly give that a go. Again, why did he marry Megan? It makes no sense.
She was good with the kids.
Hook.
It's cheaper than getting a babysitter.
I found a Betty replacement. Perfect.
Don's just an emotional guy, all right. He just kind of gets caught up. Yeah.
And then trying to describe margarine in a positive light was one of the funniest things in the world. Well, it's not butter, but it's butter. What do you think of it? Cheap. Betty, I'd buy the cheapest one. Or Peggy, I'd buy the cheapest one. Really? Yeah. Oh, and when are they gonna bang? When is Peggy's got 4 suitors right now of all people interested in her. Who's she gonna choose? Because let me tell you, that's fucking idiot, which we'll talk about in the next 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, he's got some good stuff coming.
He's got to go somewhere. He should go to Vietnam and die on the battlefield.
I mean, he almost doesn't make it through these episodes.
Fucking facts.
Listen. We gotta get to that. We got. There are plenty of stories of possible Peggy suitors coming up. So yeah, let's just get going to episode 8, The Crash. This episode started. Speaking of Don, he very much wanting to, I guess, like keep this Sylvia relationship alive, just starts like creepily hanging outside her doorway, smoking cigarettes for, I guess, hours. I don't know. Like
He
there's
went from a dom to a stalker.
yeah,
There's people that get jail sentences for what he is attempting to do.
I mean, like he's just sitting out there smoking. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Like Don is, just kind of on the edge.
At least
Clearly.
take the cigarette butts with you.
Nah, he thinks that Sylvia will know what to say here. Like it's good. Yeah, we then go into them dealing with Chevy. Ken is the guy that has to go over there to Detroit. All the times he has to deal with all these crazy Chevy guys where they're having to drive fast and fire off guns and such. And he just got in a crash, so he hobbles back in the office. He's like, guys, I can't take this anymore. They also said they didn't like the idea, and then they're like, what the fuck? They rejected like 7 ideas in 6 weeks. Like what are we supposed to do? It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like they has to go through all these places, and they have to agree on it, and they're not agreeing on it. It's like, all right, I guess we're working over the weekend. We'll just figure out how to do that. Then and they're in the meeting trying to figure out what they're doing for Chevy, Don then gets a call from Dr. Arnold, and he's like, oh fuck. So he goes in, answers the phone, and turns out it's Sylvia. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to let you know how that would feel. He's like, yeah, you can't be like hanging around my door, anymore, you stalker asshole. Like, what do you think? Like, my husband found the cigarette butts. Like, stop doing that. And then Don is like, yeah, I want to see you again. Like, nah, you can't do that. I'm gonna hang up on you now.
You loved Megan once. Just like when she said that line, I was just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. We would think that like Don having an affair with someone in the same building would come back to bite him in the ass, but now it's coming back to bite her in the ass.
Yeah, it's like if you ever did care about me in any way or shape or form, don't call me again. Like you cared about Megan once. Like, and he's like, don't. And he's like, it's the only thing that seems to work. Like bringing up Megan. Like, yeah, fuck off, Don. Don, you were literally John Hamm. You have a hammer in your pants. Go find any other woman in fucking Manhattan.
Just go one more floor down and start knocking on doors.
Just start knocking. Like, I guarantee you. There's an office that will literally probably throw themselves at you.
He's already learned to stay away from work. He's ran into those problems too.
Yeah, he married one. That's why he had to get an old secretary and an African American secretary, so ones that he won't have sex with. Like because he has a problem with sleeping with coworkers.
I'll actually go back to that one.
I'm surprised him and Peggy. He hasn't tried Peggy yet. To be honest with you.
I mean, Peggy tried the first episode. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing? I don't fuck my secretaries yet."
I just marry him.
It's too early.
Yeah, imagine going from Don Draper to fucking Pete. God, what a great. You could have walked into 7 different other people. You found Pete, poor bastard.
Well, going back to the office, Frank Gleason has died. So the dad from Phil the Future, unfortunately, not with us anymore. Jim.
Who?
Well, you guys don't
Phil
remember
of the Future.
Yeah, isn't that the name of that Disney Channel show, Phil the Future?
Definitely didn't watch Phil of the Future.
Well, Frank Gleason was the dad. In that show, so
fair enough. Shout out, Phil.
But yeah, everybody's sad from that, and they were going to take a little bit of time off the weekend, or at least Ted. Ted wasn't going into the office for the weekend, so he can kind of grieve Frank. But Jim Cutler is like, you know what? Though I'm going to help us out since we're going to spend all weekend here working. I called my doctor, and he's got like these like energy shot things, and it's something that's going to get the creative juices flowing for like 2-3 days. So so all the dudes line up. They get all these, I guess, like they're B12. I don't know what these shots are, but they get some shot in their ass, like whatever. Could be like cocaine.
It might be B12 with some cocaine or something.
But yeah, all the guys like get it, and they're all just like going crazy. like Don just kind of feels like everything like lining up, like as like he's feel it coming on. Like Stan and like wants to arm wrestle everybody, and like Jim's like racing people, and then at some point like Kenny's like just walking around, but now he just starts like tap dancing, because like he's feeling like the energy boost. So a lot of crazy shit's like going on in the office because everybody's got all this energy. Bunch of stuff happens. Like Don has some inspirational speech. There's like some hippie girl like coming in talking about people's like broken hearts. Apparently, it was related to Frank Gleason in some way. Don also like just completely like hallucinates a day. Like I guess he like just thought he was standing out in the hallway for like 8 hours, and then goes and asks people about like some soup account that he thinks is just gonna crack like the Chevy thing like completely wide open. Even though like Stan is like, or Ginsburg is like, I looked for the soup. There's nothing in there. Like I don't know why you're asking Peggy to go look for it again. Like I already looked for it. It's not there. And yeah, then also the kids are staying at Don's, so that's going on. Yeah, we see Betty's not fat anymore. I guess that we're done with that storyline. Stan also gets stabbed. They were doing like some like trying to hit like the apple of the knife on thing, and like he gets stabbed in the arm. He also tries to hook up with Peggy around that time, and she rejects him. And then he tells her about his dead cousin thing. And I don't know, maybe that'll work.
No.
Yeah, it turns out it did.
When she turned around and stabbed him, I was just screaming higher. I hate him so much.
I thought we were coming around. That was the beard.
Who said we were coming around? Do you have fake conversations in your head?
No, him and Peggy's phone conversations. We were liking those.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about
Bearded
Stan.
guy. Stan.
I'm talking about
he wasn't the guy that got stabbed. That was
that's a different episode. Like, well, no,
who
because
did you
Stan
say got stabbed.
No. The Stan was Stan the one that put the thing on his head, or was that Ginsburg?
No, it was Stan who put the thing. Ginsburg
Ginsburg
threw like the knife
Stan.
at him, and like it flew into Stan's arm.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We're talking about a stab part of these 4 episodes.
I think it was like cans or something.
I'll just say there are 2 stabbings here. This is one of them.
Yeah, you're an episode ahead.
Yeah.
We're gonna take my second time out. That's on me. That's my bad.
Yeah. No, you're thinking A. Everyone hates A.
Fully on board. Fully on board with the guy, the whoever. I forgot his name.
Stan. Yeah.
Stan.
Stan's cool.
All 4 doesn't deserve to be stabbed. Liking him. Peggy should be interested in him. Okay. Proceed.
Oh. Then see, but while Don is like, losing his mind off these energy shots at work, Sally, unfortunately, and the kids are at the apartment alone. And, Sally just kind of wakes up to like some woman just rummaging around through the apartment.
That's her grandma.
Yeah, Sally's like, "Hey, who are you?" It's like, "I'm your grandma." It's like Sally's like, "I don't think that's right."
I may be a child, but I can tell you that is factually incorrect, man.
The math ain't rapping on that one.
Bobby says a line that I do not think I can repeat. But
no, you can.
Yeah, you can. That was not bad.
I'm not gonna say
he didn't drop like a Shaneism or anything.
No, I'm not gonna.
Just for Mark's sake, it was a good moment, though. It was quite funny. I'm just sitting there the entire time. I was like, "Don does live other lives, but I'm pretty sure he does not have a black mother." Like, I said, if Don Draper's black, I'm on this whole show. I'm falling apart on.
I mean,
although Dick Whitman was one thing, Don married other cancer, all this stuff, and you are black. I will turn off the show and not watch it anymore because it's just wild.
Let's say after everything we've seen, would it not be like, I don't know, like I'm sitting there like Sally, like, I don't know, maybe this is Don's
I
past.
did the
See
same
Don with
thing.
a sponge wiping off the white makeup.
Because the more she kept saying stuff, I was just like, how the fuck you know this much about Don? Are you his mother? Is Don in there just putting white face on every morning? But I was like, no, Cody, he's been in a swimming pool. What are you talking about? I was just like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, anyway, yeah, no, Sally immediately gets suspicious and she starts calling the cops. The lady does catch her, though, and she's like, huh, you're gonna call the cops on me? Like, well, I'm not gonna treat you nice, just sit right there. So she takes off, and then Sally just locks the door, so, yeah, never to see that woman again, even though she may or may not know Don. I don't know, we don't know. Don then goes rummaging through all like their art. He does find the ad that he was thinking about. It turned out it was an oatmeal ad, and turns out like he just kind of wanted to see it because the woman that was drawn in the ad shared a bit of a resemblance, a little bit to Sylvia, but it mainly shared a resemblance to a woman that he met in his childhood. Because we also get several flashbacks in this episode to when he struck up a relationship with a let's just say a whore, like at the whorehouse that he was at for a bit. She helped nurse him back to health when he had a bit of a cold, and then she then seemed to take Don's virginity. So like just kind of like
kind of against his will a little bit.
a little. It's very much on the edge.
She would have been canceled nowadays, but it's okay back for the 40s or whatever.
Yeah, like nothing to say. Like, yeah, the people, or at least the main guy, and they're into finding out or that she was doing stuff on the side. She gets kicked out. Says like, yeah, I had sex with the kid, and then his stepmom was like, oh, did you have sex with her? He's like, and then she starts beating him, and that's more or less the end of the flashback storyline.
Yeah, one of the most uncomfortable flashbacks I've ever seen. And then we had to like go back in time to find out his cough situation. Like, what was that?
So we got to keep all that in mind when we say that Don's a bad guy. He's had a rough go of things. So.
He got a hand job from a lady.
I think it was a little bit more than a hand job. I mean, you're asking.
Well, I didn't see a lot of the scene. I'm just assuming.
Well, anyway, like Don gets excited. He found this ad, and then he brings in Peggy and Ginsburg to talk what they believe is strategy for Chevy. And he's going in there thinking, listen, this strategy works. It could be the key to everything. We don't even, but although he then says something about if I can just get this message to her, and then Peggy's like, her? The fuck? Like, have you been working on Chevy like the past 2 days? So she's like, okay, then you know what? I got it. Yeah, you guys got it. I gotta go. You don't need to worry about art later. So like he uses ad to kind of figure out a way how to talk to Sylvia about getting back together. Oh yeah. Also, as he's walking out, we see Jim looking in on Stan banging that hippie girl. So he got over his cousin to Vietnam rather quickly. So Don goes home, kind of practicing his speech to Sylvia, and he gets there and he walks into a full apartment. He finds the kids, he finds Henry and Betty, and he finds the cops. And they're like, hey, some lady was robbing apartments, and because she had a run-in with your daughter. And Betty was like, oh, yeah, like, got you going on working all hours of the night. Megan's off at the casting couch, and like these kids are fending for themselves. And then Sally's like, I want to go home. And then Don just kind of faints from being confronted and from the drug use or whatever. So that's his way of dealing with the situation. He has a clearer head the next day, ends up calling Sally, kind of tell her the break-in was his fault. And she's like, yeah, I guess I would have known better if, I knew more about you, because she had I thought of everything I could ask her, and she knew everything. So, All right, I guess good knowing it wasn't my fault. All right, thanks, Dad. Then Ted, Don then goes talks to Ted, says, "Hey," Ted's like, "Hey, what'd you guys do this weekend? Because none of this shit makes sense. I'm looking at a bunch of gibberish. Chevy is spelled wrong." And Don is like, "Hey, yeah, you can call me when they have a strategy. Like I'm done with like waiting on them." And he drops some line about every time we get a car, this place turns into a whorehouse, and then just kind of leaves Ted and Jim with their thoughts. And, yeah, that's the end of the crash. That was what it was.
Yeah, this is a kind of a silly episode. All the office hijinks and stuff, and it's kind of maybe Don's like rock bottom moment. I don't know, but and then you got the stuff with the burglary going on. It's just got a lot of wacky stuff going on. So interesting episode.
Yeah, it's goofy as shit for this episode. Had me second guessing shit. Like, what is Don Black? Questions I had throughout this episode that I didn't think I would have. But overall, I think even like a low tier Mad Men is still a pretty good TV episode overall. So I didn't have a terrible time, but it was like, yeah, it was interesting.
I mean, yeah, watching Don lose his mind is always a fun time. Yeah, but we've been talking around it. We got to get into some more Peggy suitors here on episode 9, the better half. We then see Don and Ted put Peggy in a weird situation where they're like basically making her pick between two margarine ideas. She's like, I don't know, we can go with either one. Like either one works. Then I guess like the way to show that Don's better. So like whatever, we can just go with yours. It's okay. I'm not even going to the meeting. So Peggy then confronts it about Don about it's like, hey, there's no need for any of these pissy matches. Okay, we're on the same side. This is stupid. So whatever. So Peggy's don't want to deal with that because she's got to deal with a bunch of other dumb shit, like Abe, her boyfriend, getting stabbed in the subway, and then not telling the cops like who stabbed him because like he didn't want the cops to harass them, even though he's sitting there stabbed. So and at that point, like Peggy's also had it up to with the building. She's like, I want to sell this place. This is fucking stupid. We're in a hellhole here. Like we gotta get out of here. Then see fuck. Yeah, we also get there. Megan's having trouble with the show. She's having trouble differentiating her two roles. She's getting it on the set, but she's getting at least some support from like her co-host about stuff. We then see someone hits on Betty at an event, and that I guess Henry had a bit of Dawn in him because like he heard about it and he ended up wanting to have sex for her in the limo. So that went down. Roger then got to spend time with his grandson. He was brought to the office, and Roger seems pretty happy that he has some semblance of some life going on. Pete, I guess, wanted to see what life's like on the other side, so he meets up with Duck, who is now a headhunter. And Duck is like, maybe before the merger, you're a bit of a hot commodity. Now, like, there's like a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I'm not really sure how to sell you. So, like, even Pete's looking for a bit of a jerk off here, and like, even Duck can't give him that. But Duck does tell him, hey, why don't you go work on your family life, and that'll be good. And Pete is like, yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm good here. So yeah, he's good there. Don then meets up with Betty, away to Bobby's camp. They were going out there to hang out with Bobby and such. They seem to have a pleasant time together. They share a meal. They sing a song. It almost feels like old merry times. Ted then gets upset with Peggy. Apparently, she touched his hand during a presentation or something, and they admit they still have feelings for one another. Because, I mean, this is the 4-episode run where I guess we learned that everybody wants to fuck Peggy. like everybody she works with, like is really really wanting to be with Peggy. Dawn then spends time with Betty. They share a drink outside the room, and then they are going to bed. And then what do you know? Like Betty, I guess, just forgot to close the door. Go in her room, and then Dawn is like, "Oh, she's gonna forgot to close the door." She goes in, and then he goes up and does Dawn things. And they starts grabbing on her, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm waiting for you to tell me to stop." So they go back in time there, talk about each other's lives and how what it'd be like if they were still together. Betty's like, "Oh, maybe we don't think about that," and maybe Megan, she's going about trying to love you all wrong. So really charming pillow talk is what we got there.
Yeah, she's got
Megan,
a great line. Loving you is the worst way to get to you.
then see Megan spend an evening with one of her fellow actors talking about the script and such. Although that person just completely misconstrues that and thinks that Megan wants to fuck. Makes several advances, and he's like, no. Megan's like, no, I want to do this. Cool. You
that
ready?
was the same one from like the couples dinner, right? Where they try to get him to swing. Yeah.
Yeah, like she wanted to swing there. It's like, I don't know. I thought you wanted to do it. Like, no, not into it. So, fortunately, that goes down. Apparently, Roger then took his grandson to see Planet of the Apes, and he was having nightmares about the apes. Roger's daughter was all upset. Says, "Yeah, turns out I can't trust you, my kid. So if you want to see him, you talk to mom." And like she's got to be there next time. So that makes Roger all sad.
I love he's like, it worked so good for Dawn's kid, who was like twice the age of that kid.
Dawn then finds that Harry has shown up and realizes that that moment that he had with Betty is now gone. So he goes back to being lonely Dawn. Then see Bob and Joan. They were going to go on a beach trip. And then Roger, just stops by and he's like, "Hey, Bob, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, we're just going to the beach." And it's like, "Oh." And Joan's like, "Hey, Roger, what are you doing?" It's like, "I don't know. I was actually just leaving. I'll see you guys later." Just kind of takes off there. He ends up showing back up at the office. He's trying to kind of play dad roles on both ends. But Joan doesn't want him around the kid either. So unfortunately, Roger's just kind of shit out of luck. Can't find any family to go back to. Then in the middle of this, like Peggy then finds like rocks have been thrown through the window. Sees Abe trying to fix it. She's like, "What are we safe like in this place?" And Abe's like, "No, don't worry, it's fine. Like we'll fix it, and it's all good." Of course, Peggy wanted to feel safer. Like sleeps like kind of in the living room. She starts hearing people yelling, and she's got like this like makeshift like spear thing. She like tied like a knife around it. And then Abe comes in and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then Peggy's like, "Oh, fuck," and just like stabs Abe. He's like, "Oh, why'd you stab me, Peggy?" He's like, "Oh, I thought you were a robber or something." So, they're in the ambulance. And then like Abe is like, "Yeah, I just realized you're a part of the advertising world. And like, you're just the enemy the whole time. I don't see how this can ever work." And then Peggy is sitting there going, "The fuck, man? Like I moved into this shitty apartment with you, did all this, and now you're telling me it's like, oh, you can't ever like me?" Like her dignity honestly never kicked back in on that one for whatever reason. But good fucking riddance. Abe is out of here. They're broken up because he's just the worst fucking asshole.
The fact that she walked in there and the rock was on the floor and the glass was broken, and goes, "The rock just went." No, it didn't. I see the rock. I see the rock. There's glass all over the floor. Like, what an idiot! Like, you had the easiest life of your entire like when he had that stab wound and he was like typing up his report and stuff, and she's like, or like needing help. It's like, "Hey, well, this is fresh in my mind. I need you to write this stuff down. I'm going to bed." Like, zero, like,
she's
care at all. And like him wanting to stand up for like the people of like whatever. He's like, "But they're criminals. They stabbed you." He's like, "It doesn't matter. Like,
I don't want the cops to go just to harass the whole neighborhood."
I was just dying. Like Peggy sitting here and like, Listen, I may not be as like
He's,
as politically motivated as you, but you're crazy. Like you need help. And then
he's
he
like, what?
lives in a free apartment, and then all of a sudden goes, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna give up on that." Okay, bye.
He's like, well, I don't want to give them reason to harass everybody in the neighborhood. Oh, except for the guys that stabbed you. So, yeah,
Well,
that's
he
good.
stab more people. Crazy.
Oh, Don does get back from the camping trip, and Megan then tells him, yeah, things got to be different. I can feel you 1,000 miles away. You got to be closer. And Don is like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. For you, kid, anything. So I think Don is going to give an honest attempt at his marriage again. Bob does get wind that Pete is in need of like some type of helper with his mother. He says like, hey, I know this guy. Like he's a registered nurse. He helped my dad get back to full health. He could probably help your mother. And then Pete is like, oh wait, he said he was Spanish. Is it Spanish from Spain? Because mother's not going to go for that. Turns out it was okay, and Pete was touched that Bob has an answer for him. We then see Peggy after go over to Ted, says, "Hey, I broke up with Abe. How about that?" And then Ted is like, "It's all right, Tiger. You'll get the next one." And then just kind of leaves her blue balled outside the office, and just kind of sitting there going, "The fuck is my life," and that is the end of the better half.
Yeah, and anytime Peggy's going to stab Abe and break up with him, that's going to be like a 5-star episode right off the bat. Yeah, but I mean, this one had a bunch of good. I loved all the stuff with kind of Betty and Dawn at the camp. I thought that stuff was pretty good. But yeah, no, I think we pretty much covered everything else. Yeah, good episode.
The camp at like them hooking up and getting bet like in that some like, oh my god, will you two wake the fuck up? You were horrible for each other.
It's not cheating if it's your ex.
Yeah, true. You just kept it in the family. I already had sex with her once. Like, can't be a first time thing anymore.
At least
3 times confirmed.
Yeah, at least 3 times confirmed. No, but like the Peggy situation, we're not getting to the part where. No, I think that's is that the last episode where he's like, I can't stand the other guy that got stabbed, the bearded guy.
No, I think we covered it.
No, I think that was the last one, maybe.
Yeah.
When she kisses him.
They kissed in the last episode.
I can't stand him. Like, you have a great ass thing. Like that situation, like Peggy, like that was basically the green light for Peggy to be like, there are more out here than this fucking loser. Like, overall, great episode. But I think with Peggy involved in everything, like that's what I live for. Like, I think Mad Men's at its top when Peggy actually has a good storyline going on as well as the rest of them. So yeah, I was on full board with this episode, and finally got rid of that fucking loser. I couldn't stand it. Like, I've never wanted a guy get drafted into the military more in my entire life than that guy.
Yeah, I feel like on the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't really care for Abe all that much. He just kind of adds nothing. Rewatched it like 2 years ago. I was like, man, this guy fucking sucks. And then like rewatching it now, like I just could not wait for him to just be gone. It is torture, like us slow rolling this throughout the episode. And like, I was really hoping like this was the episode he gets stabbed and like, okay, cool, because I know he's out of here after that.
Good,
like, all right. Well, anyway, let's tie this up with a bow. Going into episode 10, the Tale of Two Cities. See Roger, Don, and Harry, they're heading off to Los Angeles. Think they were going to go over there, try to do some meetings with like Carnation and Sunkiss and such. So they're trying to get some stuff going down there. We then get to the partners meeting before they leave. And Jim brings up that, hey, we got some letter from somebody out to like Campbell, Gleason, and Price or whatever. And he's like, listen, we gotta talk about this name. Like, we're asking everybody to call us Sterling Cooper, Draper, Price, Cutler, Gleason, and Shaw. Like, the fuck is that? Like, and two of the initials in this are dead. Like, how? Like, we got to figure out a better name for this one. So they get into a little fight about that, and they decide to at least table it until Roger, Don, and Harry come back. Jim then had an interesting a tete-a-tete with Ginsburg, because Ginsburg because around this time they're all dealing with the Democratic National Convention, and Ginsburg's getting all fired up about some political stuff, and Jim is like, "Huh, how come you're not working?" And then Ginsburg is like, "You're a fascist." And then and then Jim just sits there dead face like, "I'm a fascist because I gave you a deadline." The fuck is this? So Jim gets all angry and says, "Yeah, I think we got to fire some more of these people. Like, now that Don and Roger are away." Ted is able to talk him down with that, so he at least not going to fire anybody. But Jim is still up for some scheming. Joan believes she was set up on a date, but actually turns it into an opportunity to sign Avon Cosmetics, because it turns out he was somebody that was looking to kind of up their marketing. And Joan wanted to be the one to bring him in. Like, she had never done any of this kind of accounting stuff. Wanted to try to bring it in. She then tries to get Peggy to tell Ted to work him in, and Ted is like, we'll get Pete on it. It's okay. He knows how to get Pete and Peggy to do this meeting, and you'll be okay. Although Joan didn't like that at all, so she decided, fuck it, scheduled a meeting with Peggy, but without Pete. Kind of squeezed him out of that. They end up having a bit of a business breakfast as such, and you know what? Seems to go pretty well. Joan is able to talk through it pretty well, hand it off to Peggy at parts, and at least they somewhat impress this guy enough to where he'll at least keep talking to him. Although Peggy didn't really appreciate going to that meeting kind of blindsided. It's like, listen, I want to tell you that you're doing things the wrong way here, but doing things the wrong way, this could easily go back on you here. And Joan didn't really like that all that much. Then while they're over there, they have some meeting with Carnation, but I think one of the guys said something about the riots in there, and he didn't like that at all. He got all angry. Really got the meeting off on the wrong foot. So that went the way it did. Jim then puts Bob in charge of Manischewitz, a meeting that they had, account that Roger had. I think, although Jim was clearly trying to sabotage this a little bit, and then Bob had to deal with Ginsburg, who was spiraling, thinking he was talentless or whatever. He just kind of slaps him up the face, of hey, listen, just pull your shit together so we can get through this meeting. Then see Harry. He takes Don and Roger to a California party. They run into their old pal Danny. Roger makes a bunch of short jokes at him, and eventually Danny ends up punching Roger in the stomach and puts him to the floor. Don also gets high and hallucinates and sees a hippie Megan at the party, and also seeing the guy that he helped him marry in Hawaii, and then almost drowns in the pool. So, Don just partying hard. Bob then tells Jim and Ted that Manischewitz is on the rocks. So they are putting the account in review. But Jim wants to put Bob on Chevy to kind of help to give them a bit of more of an in, at least on the people in Sterling, at least on the Sterling Cooper people. Even though Ted is upset that whatever, we have good news about Avon and such, but or we're kind of skipping the lead there. I'll go that because Joan gets confronted about how she handled Avon, because they get sent a package in there, and Pete is all pissed. He's like, "What, did you set up a meeting about me?" It's like, all right, whatever. He goes and gets Ted. Joan then just kind of awaits to see what's going to happen, and then she gets double pressed from Pete and Ted about whether or not she tried to squeeze Pete out of this meeting. Peggy's kind of listening in on it, doesn't want to see Joan get fired or anything. Kind of writes a fake note that the Avon guy had called her and wanted to speak with her. And Ted was like, go fucking take that call. I don't know what you're waiting. Like, he's expecting to hear from you. And then they overhear from the intercom. Pete's still pretty pissed about being left out of the meeting, but Ted's like, who cares? We're on the same team. And yeah, Pete didn't like that one bit because he's still feeling more squeezed out of the company. And Peggy pretty much throws up like, hey, you better hope he really calls or you're going to be in still deep shit here. So you better be ready to reel that one in. And so, recap, LA trip, bit of a non-success, at least from Harry, Don, and Roger. Ups and downs of the office, although Jim clearly conniving behind the scenes, and Ted is like, you better watch your ass because they're not going to think this is a win. The Manischewitz in review, we got Avon, but who gives a shit? So they are doing there, but Roger and Don then return to the office, and they catch him up on all the business, and they decide on a new name that they think is the most fair, which is Sterling, Cooper, and Partners. Pretty much keeping the main two, and pretty much everybody else just kind of getting the Partners label and all that. Everybody seems to be kind of okay with it, although Pete stays behind for Don's office, says, hey, some shit's going on here. People are like scheming behind. That name is a smoke screen. We got to be ready for it. And Don is like, you're fucking crazy, Pete. Just get the fuck out of here. It's all right. And then Pete is like, all right, whatever. Don't say I didn't warn you. So he walks out. He thinks that they have been losing grip on the office. And then Pete, to blow off some steam, smokes a joint to send out the episode. And I guess, this run of Mad Men this week.
Yeah, this is a really good episode. I love all the Jim Cutler stuff and the kind of like the behind the scenes, them kind of starting to kind of pick away at the partnership already. And I love that Pete is kind of the one that kind of sees the writing on the wall. He sees it coming, and like Don's like, and then Pete ends the episode getting high. So maybe this is the point where Mark thinks that we're going to turn around on Pete if he's going to become like a giant stoner or something. And of course, whenever Don goes to California, it's kind of like a mixed bag, whether it's going to be good or not. And I think this was one of the good trips. I think it helped having Roger there with him, made that one a little bit better, especially when he's picking on the little guy the whole time. That was great.
I mean, he would have been dead if Roger hadn't gone.
Yeah, well, good or bad. Good.
It was a good episode. I like that they decided like on the name, like Don's like, it works for me. It can work for you. And he's like, yeah, but they're squeezing. Don't you see the writings on the wall or whatever? And he's like, maybe it's time to get out of the business if it's too much for you. But yeah, it was a good episode. The LA trip was a little weird, but anytime they go west, it's always a fucking most of the time weird episode. So not a shocker there. Ready to go to New Jersey?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go south.
Grab yourself a gun. Okay. Weird fucking episodes this week, but Luxury Lounge basically starts with the family or the bosses or whatever all meeting together, giving speeches, busting balls with each other, and then fucking Paul gets up and like fucking goes on the thing. I hope he fucking dies and rips like loses mind on Vito, basically, right? Is that
Vito?
Yeah, Vito like loses like all right, calm the fuck down and relax. Artie's restaurant's going downhill. It's not as good as it once was. They're all making statements about it, like, oh, this ain't that great anymore. Like, have you tried this new place? It's fucking good. After the dinner, Christopher stops Tony and says, hey, I need to take some time off work. I need to go out west. that horror movie that I'm doing. I'm going to go talk to Ben Kingsley about being in. Great. So he's like, all right, whatever. Outside of I don't remember the guy's name, but Frankie Valli is the guy who plays him. The member of Carmine's gang, the tiny guy, he gets shot outside. They whack him right outside the thing and then drive off. Artie's being weird in his restaurant. He has a young hostess that one of the guys in Christopher's gang, like Benny is like getting a liking to. But Artie is, again, socially awkward as fuck most of the time. So he has no sense of what to do with anything. Tony goes and tries the new Italian restaurant, the new restaurant, while under Artie's back. And then Paul shows up. Not Walnut. I consider, when I talk about Paul, I'm talking about Paul Vincent. Basically, I'm not talking about Walnut. But he shows up, and then Tony's like, hey, I'm a little bit of a loyalty guy. Like, this is kind of rude for you to be here for Artie. It's like, well, you're here. It's like this double standard. But Paul's there to basically tell him thank you for the hit. And he's like, I didn't do the hit. Like, I was told not to do, like, that's different. Artie goes back to the restaurant. He sees Benny hitting on the girl, and he basically, Artie just is a dick and says, hey, your green card situation is not going to fucking work out. So sorry about it. Like, yeah, you just have to do your process. Tony tries to give advice to Artie. Artie's really not having it. He's not really receptive. He's pretty pissed that he never pays his tab, like, for the dinner, which I don't think it's crazy because didn't Artie lose $50,000 on like an investment that Tony just had to eat? I don't know how much fucking chicken a la vodka or whatever he ate, but I don't think it ended up to 50 G's at this point. But maybe it has. Tony is a big guy.
He does these meals with like 12 people there. If you do enough of those.
Artie's talking about getting out of the restaurant business. Like it stays around for too long. It ends up bad. Benny is like telling Artie to like calm it down with being mean to his girl, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, last time I checked, that's how a boss kind of relationship works. I don't know what you want me to do." Artie kind of lets Tony know about what the Benny situation is and what's going on. Fucking Christopher is now back to being high, doing coke off. Again, this is off topic, but in Hollywood, like just to grab, like I don't know what's in the contract or whatever, but he like full on like about rips this girl's tits right off her body and the thing. I was like, man, early 2000s Hollywood was just a fucking different time, I'm guessing, because this poor woman, like, but yeah, he's back. He's back with his fairy dust. He's having a.
It doesn't count when you're out of state. So.
Oh God! Sorry.
I mean, was he never not just off the wagon? I mean, he was like after being in rehab for a bit, we see him just having a glass of wine. It's like, what? It's one glass of wine. I can have a glass of wine with dinner every now and again. It's like. Whatever. Like,
listen, okay, I'm not defending Christopher. I think this is the first time since Adriana's death that he has hit like hard drugs that we see on camera. But
he's in the runnings for bad guy of the week this week.
Oh yeah, he ain't doing great. Fed show up or the American Express, whatever. The people looking into it, there's fraud at Artie's thing. There is literally people are stealing credit cards. There's about 9 different things, so he can't take it. So Artie's pissed. That's 30% of his business that he won't be able to talk to. If you're a film fan, I want everybody to go about to the 22-minute mark to watch this scene with Christopher and Ben Kingsley to break down the we're looking at this person to be your co-star. We're like, maybe find the next James Wan, like things like, you ever seen Saw? Brutal. Like, just like,
Well, but
and then
he's giving them
Lauren
like
Bacall.
10% of his attention.
Yeah, and Lauren Bacall shows up.
Mhm.
Like, they all have like this conversation, like, hey, how you doing? Christopher's just like the most idiotic like actor, like pitching a movie. But they're pitching. He's like, "What are you doing out here?" Oh, I have no idea. Jamie Kingsley's trying to get out of this meeting every chance he gets. They take him to like this free room where they're getting. Christopher just wants the free shit. Like, Christopher's like,
Whoa,
I have
can you get me
that,
hook up for that?
yeah, stuff gets phone, that stuff. So he's having a grand old time. Artie sits down at this restaurant staff. He's like, this is like olives or something. He still goes, I think it was you. Fucking fuck you. You guys are all fucking me. Like, he's so mad about this credit card. Which, I'm not a rocket scientist, but like, even though they give us a little backstory on this new couple that's the thing, I know who's stealing the credit cards without it being told to me. Like, Artie's clueless. You mean Benny, the guy that works for a criminal gang, like, and you're now credit cards, and he just got to it. Who would have also had credit cards, like access? So I think it's hilarious that he's hard to figure that out. But he loses his shit. He gets all mad. And Artie shoots a fucking rabbit in the backyard. He's like, "What did I tell you about the city limits?" Yeah, you know how much those fucking seeds are? They're fucking from Italy or whatever. I'm gonna kill him. He calls Ben Kingsley to try to pitch him on the sale again. Doesn't go through. He just basically hangs up on him. Like, no, it's not working. Artie and the girl. About the credit card, yeah, we laugh at you. We fuck on the pile of money we stole from your club. The hostess is now no longer working for Artie. Basically admits that he did it. Artie shows up to Benny's house and beats the shit out of him. So that's interesting. Christopher meets back up with Ben Kingsley to try to figure out, like, tries to pitch him. He's like, I'll get it set up in New York. Like, basically, it's not going to work out, Christopher. He's not going to be in your fucking mob movie overall. Tony brings Artie onto a boat. If he knew anything about pussy, I would not get on a boat with Tony Soprano anytime soon. But he tells him he's got to make it right. Like, you can't fucking do that. Benny meets with Tony and tells him, hey, basically, he's my best friend from school. We ain't doing this. Bygones own. By the way, you're having your parents' anniversary or whatever at his restaurant. Enjoy. Like, and tip well. Then they all show up at the thing, and Tony or Ben, he goes over to Benny's table and it's like, oh, and starts like dropping hints that he's having an affair with the hostess. So Benny walks in the back and shoves his hand in this boiling pot of sauce and burns his hand. What was it? Christopher ends up like robbing Lauren Bacall.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Christopher and Artie, Tony is like, basically it ends now with you and Benny. Like, we're not doing this shit anymore. And it basically ends with him back to cooking and figuring out like that can cook. Like opening up those restaurant books. Like, I guess he's gonna start giving a shit again.
Something like that.
That's basically how the episode ends. So, thoughts?
I mean, it's a interesting episode. I enjoy the stuff with Christopher out in Hollywood messing with Ben Kingsley and stuff. Artie, I feel Artie is best in smaller doses. They gave him a lot to do this episode.
A lot of screen time. Him and Christopher, a lot of screen time.
I did like him fighting with Benny, and then Benny's just going back in the kitchen, just like dip him his hand in that sauce.
Oh, that's fucking brutal. Like, that has to be so much pain.
Oh yeah. I think she said like a whole layer of like his skin just came right off the hand. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, not other than those couple of things, not really a whole lot else happened. They're still got the whole veto stuff in the background, so that's more coming up in the next couple episodes. But yeah, just fun, I guess. Mark brings up a good
God
point.
damn it, son of a bitch.
I would usually say something. It was just too much fun to watch you struggle.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. This was all right. We definitely feel a bit of a last season here, and I don't, because I am pretty sure this is like the last Artie centric episode. I don't remember there being another one later on, so like in a weird way, like I'm glad they got it out of the way. That we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna get it in side B. So we're not wasting time on that. Solid enough. I liked at least about it. I mean, considering how the last time he tried to play mob guy went, I'm kind of glad he at least beat the shit out of Benny that one time. So at least he got in some good licks. And then you got Christopher trying to play like a Hollywood guy, just hilarious. He's coked out again, gets obsessed with all the free stuff, like with Ben Kingsley. And of course, they're like punching out Lauren Bacall was hilarious. Thought that was fun. And then, of course, they're being put on the same flight, and like Christopher's eyeballing Ben Kingsley like the whole time. But yeah, there's always some fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go episode 8, Johnny Cakes. Tony basically is banging his wife, having a grand old time. Ends up walking out, hearing noise, walks out, sees a bunch of people leave AJ's room, and Tony's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" "I'm selling those drugs." "Those were a gift." Blah blah blah. "I thought you were going back to school." "Not going back to school." Go to another scene. We're in New Hampshire with Vito. He's watching a fire burn. He finds his hot firefighter dream future boyfriend saving a kid, having the time of his life. AJ and Tony go fishing. My favorite scene, I think, that I've ever watched in The Sopranos happens when Patsy and them go to like a Starbucks and basically tells them, "Hey, we'll support you." Like, cover. He's like, "Dude, it's got to be manager approval. There's 10,000 stores that can forget about a little bit." Every bean is like in a computer, and they walk outside and like, what the hell has happened to America?
It's over for the little guy.
So what's happened to America?
It's so funny. Where he's just like taking down, like it was like taking down Ronald McDonald. Cover you. I don't give a fuck. It'll be like 10 grand a week, buddy. I can change this.
You pay us so that ice cream machine to be broken.
The moment they change it out, somebody else will replace me. Like, it's not this how this works. So Patsy doesn't really understand the whole concept, but it's one of my favorite. I was laughing so hard. Tony is interested in selling. I don't know what property he's selling. One of the like shops that he is like invested in.
Yeah.
Like some Italian grocery or whatever.
Yeah, so he's into. He meets a woman and he basically like talks about selling. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, margin probably worth twice as much." He tries to hit on her. So long for that faithful marriage. Didn't last too long. And then he's like, "I don't think so. I'll go back to you. How about we hang out? We're going to dinner. I'm married. Blah blah. Well, I'm engaged. What the fuck matter?" She says no. She walks away from the deal. Then we go back to New Hampshire. Vito is in there at the thing ordering Johnny Cake. He's trying to flirt with the guy. The guy behind him goes, "Ronnie Marciano, guy 49. You should interview me." I was like, Vito just looking back, "Shut the fuck up." Like, it's one of my favorite things. He's like, "Yeah, I think it's 49." And he's like, "Yeah, 49." And the guy's like, "I've researched after you were in here. I think it's 51. What a like, there's a whole like thing, but he's touching his hand. There's a little bit of romance thing. Find one of the most racist old ladies sitting outside of the shop. Tony's like, "Oh, the blacks and blah blah blah." Thought fucking Miss Soprano just reincarnated from the grave, but not there. fucking AJ. I've heard for years. The only thing I've ever heard about The Sopranos is how bad of an actor AJ Soprano is. I get it now, but like I think the hate was a little like I don't know what like he's still.
I mean,
young,
when you hire a little kid, you don't know what you're going to get 6 years later.
and like apparently the experience on it was so like how the hate for it or whatever, he just will never go back to acting at all. But they're like talking about how the blades and stuff with the lips wanting to check out. But he's
Watching
like
the Haunted, good movie.
Never seen it. Again, I think it's an interesting list. Movies shown on The Sopranos. I think it'll be an interesting list.
It's gonna be my strength next year.
Yeah. But I only want 20-second clips of it. That's all I saw. Tony meets with Jennifer, basically talks about AJ. He's like, he has no drive, no desire. He sleeps till 2. He goes to the club all night. He's like, what about you? I did good. I still did okay in school. I had grades. So he's like, he doesn't know how to describe him. Peter Bogdanovich, he's kind of Jennifer's venting for her session, and he just switches the topic to Sopranos like instantly because he's basically fucking nosy, not getting really information he wants. AJ's at the club. They're all talking about the whole situation. While AJ has found a new desire of coke, he's enjoying himself. He's picking up tabs and stuff. So he's trying to figure out for more money, but everything's tied back to his dad. Paul is not pleased. He makes more wise shots at Johnny Sacks than anybody else at this point. He's like, oh, I'm crying. He's sad. Paul wants Vito. He's like, he disgraced my family. I let my brother go. Like, what do you want? Like, I want. Like, what do you want me to do? Put him in an APB because he takes up the ass? Like, what? Like, it's not a crime. Like, it's not. It didn't do anything wrong. He disgraced. Like, I let you go, but it basically ends like he doesn't know where he really is. AJ getting a massage. There's a whole story about Vito having in this house. I was like, I lost my cell phone. Well, did you retrace your steps? Did you look back to where you go? Fucking Vito ripped it off. He ends up calling his wife, talking about it. She's like, come back. I thought last episode was pretty bad. This episode doesn't help its case at all about like how they treat gay people. You can go to a church. They can get this out of you. You can live normal life. Like, let's just run away. I can't. Hangs up the phone. Basically, leaves him alone. Tony meets with the girl again at the strip club. They start like talking and flirting. I guess that. So the first one was not that. The second one was basically, hey, let's go. Thing. She's engaged. She ends up walking away from that. Vito goes into. I don't know if every guy in this New Hampshire place, if this is just Gaytopia. But everyone is like, it seems like everybody, they're the police station, their laundromat, everybody is. I've not seen many women walking around. It's fine. It's just really weird because it makes no sense. Like, but they all invite Vito down, and Vito's like giving like how their conversation is about how attractive the guys are, and like the firefighter cook at the diner like looks at Vito and like shakes like. Lets him know that he's safe where he's at. They go outside, and guy tries to make a move. Vito tries to fight him. He gets his ass beat. They both fight. Vito tries to pick up a pipe. He's like, "Oh, dirty fighter!" Just throws him around, but ends up driving away. He's like, I'm no gay person." Blah blah. So that's all interesting. How that fight ended up happening. AJ wants to be backed about getting the club. He wants to. What the fuck are you talking about? You've never even been a busboy. Like, what? You haven't had a job. You work at a Blockbuster. He leaves, and Tony goes, maybe we get him a club. Maybe some responsibilities. So like,
I mean, they got an opening over at Adriana's club, so
I just sat there and like, get him a dog. Like, responsibility, like not a club. But he's like, what are you doing? He's like, and then Carmela talks like the most rational sense of like, he can't even have a sip of alcohol legally right now. Point. Fair point. Didn't think that one through.
Get me there.
Well, I didn't know how old my kid was. AJ starts having a panic attack over the drugs, I believe. Like, he's starting acting weird. It's just not where he's having withdrawals. Vito goes to like this tea party in New Hampshire, sits around with like, I don't know, like voting on stuff about the thing. There's the women of the group. We haven't seen them in the entire thing. I literally said no, and then there's a room full of them. AJ goes and visits Groucho Marx. And again, he's like, they're lying to me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, why am I here? I'm not supposed to be here, blah, blah. AJ walks in with a knife. He ends up bringing the knife down, gets in there, sees, oh, my son. Oh, Anthony, blah, blah, blah. Drops the knife and starts to bolt. But those have locks. He gets hauled in. Fucking Tony, Tony beats it, like, smacks it. He's so fucking stupid. Like, you're lucky we know people. That could be attempted murder. He's like, you didn't do nothing. You did nothing. That's mine to deal with. Like, we watched The Godfather, and when Michael kills those two people, you say it's your favorite scene in the movie. That's a movie. He just screams, which is so funny. He's like, you're fine. Trust me. Like, everything's fine. And he's like, don't talk about it. Tell your mother. Guy, real estate calls Tony. Tony goes, hey, let's meet at your apartment. Sign those papers. I'll sell it. No problem. Vito is back out, orders Johnny cakes. He puts his hand down. They hold hands. There's this little romantic connection. Tony is going out to meet this woman. Carmela gets him like dressed, and he like is fighting like, oh my god, should I do this? Vito and the fireman, we see the most uncomfortable shirt take off in the entire world because Vito looks like the laziest lover I've ever seen. Get naked already. What are we doing? But then they take a bike ride. Yeah, AJ has a little panic attack over the weed. They all sign. Tony signs the papers to sell the thing. They get all hot and bothered. Tony gets like his shirt starts to get taken off, and I don't know if it's like a subconscious, like where he just got shot in the wound there, but also what Carmela did for him, like in that process, which is what he struggled with the most. So he throws her off of her and goes, "We done? What? We're signing?" She's like, "Yeah, okay, gotta go," and he like leaves her high and dry. Carmela passes. AJ passes out in the bathroom. Tony comes home, starts slamming stuff. Carmela comes out and goes, "Is it that fucking hard to have some roasted turkey in the fucking house? What the fuck is wrong with you, Tony? I work all fucking day and I don't have any turkey at all." Basically lashes out, and that's how. And then Patsy walks into the Italian grocery and says, "Yeah, Tony sold it. Jamba Juice is coming in." What is coming to this place? That's the episode. I'll just say, this is one of the better episodes of The Sopranos in the season. Like, I had a lot of fun with all the little side quests that end up happening. And, like, Tony has a conscience. Kind of crazy. Thoughts?
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. I loved all the stuff with Vito. I loved AJ going in there trying to kill Junior and just dropping the knife. And then it was very interesting kind of seeing Tony kind of like, he flashed back to Carmela helping him put the shirt on as the other lady was trying to take it off. And it's like, oh, okay. Maybe Tony's going to be faithful to his wife now. Do something that like none of the characters in these shows could do. We'll have to see how that works out for him. But yeah, this was a solid episode.
You're muted again. This is just great time.
God damn it. Son of a bitch. Like, I'm sitting here trying to like look up stuff that I try to kind of compose my thoughts, and I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, I guess I'll say some stuff. I'm kind of clicking away. Of course, I got the fucking red X over here. Like, whatever. Yeah, I agree. It's a pretty good episode. honestly, there's a lot to chew on here. I like it is funny just kind of thinking about it, is I do also remember that too. Like I don't remember that just because I didn't watch it while I was out, but it is funny just to go back and see how much of a problem people had with like Robert Eiler's performance and like his like the AJ character. Even though like AJ is not really that important of a character, he just kind of has a story like every other season essentially. Like in this, I mean, here he at least has something. It's kind of the big ode to like, okay, like AJ is never going to be a part of whatever Tony's doing. And, like we were pretty certain about that at this point. Like it's just not going to happen. This one, it's not in him, and just Tony also isn't going to put that on him, which is done in a pretty solid scene there where they're out in that police station. Then yeah, I do kind of like at the Vito stuff. I do remember. I felt like I remembered there's more Vito stuff. I was a little bit surprised, just not to, talk out of turn. At least next episode. Next episode, not a ton of Vito. Just say that. I thought there'd be a little bit more going in this one, but that stuff is least neat. And yeah, there is a lot of just interesting side stuff here. Then selling that place off to the Jamba Juice, and then that stuff with Patsy, like just funny stuff. But yeah, this is a surprisingly really good episode. I don't remember liking this one as much as I did, but I did.
All right, last episode of the week, episode 9, The Ride. Starts off with Christopher watching Saw. The girl he was banging or whatever comes out and she's pregnant. Christopher's like, I'm sorry, I'll go to the clinic. We'll take care of blah blah blah. Let's get married. So that's that. Ultimate scene comes up with Walnut sitting down with the priest to talk about the parade that they shut down the square and blah blah for 10 grand. And he's like, 10 grand seems a little cheap, like where it is. It is what it is. That's what it just seems like a excuse. He's like, get the hat, get everything for the guy. Like, this is what we're doing. We're doing the same thing. He's like, I feel something criminal elements behind it. I don't feel comfortable with it. Oh, you don't? It's like, what would be the number? 50 G's. 50 G's? And he's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I just don't feel comfortable. Oh, but you would feel comfortable with $50,000. That's what you feel comfortable with. Fine. Fuck it. We'll do it without it. So basically, they're going to plan it without. Christopher announces that he's getting married and has a baby on the way. Christopher and Tony go driving around. They find people like robbing a place or grabbing wine out of it. Well, Tony and them go and steal the wine. And they're like, "You're the Vipers. Like, you're gonna be worried about the Vipers." Okay, no problem. Their gunshot goes off. Christopher ends up shooting one of them, but they drive away with like a whole car full of wine. And they have a good laugh about the whole situation. Christopher and them talk about being about one glass of wine's not bad. Like overall, like clean sober, sure. They just shot below in the house, no issues. We kind of see a cool flashback scene of Christopher talking to Tony about the Adriana thing, where Tony about fucking kills him in the basement. Basically, he's like, "What are you fuck? How long? What? How fuck? Don't worry, we'll take care of it. I'm sorry, I didn't know." He ends up stripping him to see if he's like got a wire. Really, Tony's like, "Hey, I gotta make sure," but tells him like he'll never forget those days, like him going to him, talking to him. Christopher and his new bride go and look at the house from the outside. He's like, "We'll take it. So don't you want to see the inside? If it's got an inside, we'll definitely take it." So they're buying a house. The fair is going on. Everybody's talking about the situation. Paul and Tony work out a deal without Johnny Stacks being involved, but it has to be done tonight. I don't remember what the tonight thing was off the top of my head. But they agree on
or something, yeah.
Yeah, something with the truck. They end up agreeing, and like I don't think Johnny Stacks is worried about it. Kind of an interesting scene. Carmela runs into Adriana's mom, and basically, "Oh, how's it going?" And she's not happy at all, and just like you know, I think he did it. I think Christopher killed him. The FBI came to my house asking all these questions. They think he did it. And Carmela goes, I think you're drunk. I think you're a little drunk. I've been sober for like 10 months or whatever now. Like, I haven't had a glass. Like, so it puts a little doubt into Carmela's mind. I think Christopher gives money to a guy and then gets high in the car with him, right?
Yeah.
What's the money for? Do we know? Was it a hit?
I think it just may be like business.
Something business wise, but he ends
Just
up
a
getting high
payoff,
and
yeah.
then fucking Christopher gets high and throws up, and like we see a whole fucking like 3-minute montage of him just high on different spots, staring off into space. The parade's going through. Everybody's rumbling because they couldn't get the gold hat that apparently the saint whatever wears every festival because he wouldn't pay more money, so they had their thing, but they think there's like a curse behind it. Carmela asked the question to Tony, goes, Adriana like death. Oh yeah, Christopher did it, really? There'd be a body. Well, I've talked to many people with domestic violence. It happens in the bedroom or the kitchen, like at least like all this stuff. Carmela's not like Christopher's married now. There'd be a body. There'd be all this thing. Carmela just body language is saying, I don't fully believe what really happened with Adriana. Walnuts gets a phone call that he might have prostate cancer, so he's flipping out on the phone. What do you mean die? Janice and her baby gets on this teacup rides and it fucking crashes and like hurts people on it. Not fucking Janice, but Janice is going to take full effect of it. Somebody calls Walnuts. Walnuts sitting home and goes, what do you want? There was an accident. Well, fucking talk to the redneck guy for it. I don't give a shit. It ain't my problem. Like, what do you mean? Well, people got hurt. I didn't know if you want to be down here. Their family dinner, Christopher, they're all bringing over, talking about the whole situation. Janice like throws shade at Bacala that he didn't fucking do anything on the night. Like, what do you want me to do? I was taking him to the bathroom. Then he shows up at the redneck's house and beats his ass. He wants for $25,000 or whatever. My wife woke up today, can't move her neck. Like, she's injured, like blah blah. And don't you say shit to this. And he's like, Paulie told me. Paulie? Bacala comes at Paulie at the fair. He's like, you fucking idiot, you owe me money. There's this whole dust up with the situation. Paulie runs into his mother, or not his mother, and like, you guys, yeah, you probably cursed that lady, you cursed this event, which makes him second guess because he's got prostate cancer. He might have prostate cancer, and this is all the situation. So he's panicking in his mind, like, maybe I'm doing something wrong in this situation. It's not an Artie centric, but I think the food is better at Artie's. Like right now, they made a comment like it's better. So hats off to them. Tony meets with Walnuts and the thing is like, you need to make this fucking right. This is your event. You put it on. Like, how much is good press? Like, how much do you want to be in the news for all this bad stuff? Like, you need to bite the bullet and make it right. I know Christopher and Tony meet back in the basement when he's putting wine away, but I think they're just joking about the situation. But I don't think there's any business like really discussed. Walnuts is walking around trying to get a phone call, trying to talk to the doctor. Doesn't work at it. They go back down. The family goes back down to the fair. The child's like runs towards the teacup ride that basically wrecked and is crying towards it. Tony Walnuts ends up going over to his mother's house having cookies and like kind of like reconciles with that side of it. So, and that's how the ride ends. Thoughts?
I mean, it's a nice little kind of a character episode. Not really a whole lot happens like plot wise, but you have like some good moments. I really enjoyed seeing the Tony and Christopher, the little flashbacks about the whole Adriana thing of Christopher pretty much begging Tony not to make him do it, because I'm sure pretty much anybody else, Tony would have made them go and kill their significant other if they were ratting. But so he got away with that. Christopher back on the drugs again now, the hard stuff. So we know that's probably not going to end very well. And then, of course, all the stuff with Paulie was really great this episode, between him freaking out of the biopsy and just trying to cut every single corner possible in this fair that he's responsible for, and getting in it with Paulie and Janice walking around with a neck brace and Tony, leave it alone, Janice. And then I'm happy that he kind of like reconciled with his mother, the woman who raised him. So I thought that was nice. So just a nice little episode. Like I said, this whole season has kind of just been kind of slowly moving plot stuff and kind of focusing more, kind of giving you some farewells to a lot of the side characters and kind of giving them big moments and stuff. But good stuff.
The Paulie stuff, I think it's fun. Just to kind of
You
watch
learned
it.
to unmute. Crazy.
I checked. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Growth. Third time's the charm.
But yeah, like it's fun. Like it just him having to deal with like just this dumb fair he's got to put on, and like even the priest is like shaking him down for like 50 grand. I'm like he's got to deal with that, but it's all right. Like we get a nice Paulie episode there. I really like the stuff with Christopher. The Christopher stuff is very good, especially him having his pal time with Tony, and then we get that, which I thought there was maybe. I guess I thought I was misremembering it for a bit, because I could have sworn that scene was in long-term parking. I thought we saw that in that episode. I forgot that it was later.
I wonder if that's something where they filmed it for that episode and then took it out. They wanted to try to do the surprise moment, or if they just filmed it especially for this episode. I'm curious. But
they could have. I mean, it really works here.
Oh yeah,
just throwing that back in. But yeah, like other than that, Christopher. I'm not sure there's a TV character that I think is worse at handling pressure. Just. Yeah, he hears he's gonna have a kid, and then he just starts getting back on the heroin. All right, like the coke, I can handle that. And the wine, the booze, I can handle that. All the once he gets the heroin, though, he's just done.
that one's kind of hard to just do little bits.
Thanks. All right, you guys want to do bad guy of the week?
Nah, let's just skip it this week.
That's fine. Matt, you and I just want to do it in lockstep.
I mean, like I said, this week I feel like it comes down to Don or Christopher. Because, I mean, Christopher had a solid run where he's getting back on the drugs now. He was kind of trying to intimidate Ben Kingsley. He beat up and robbed Lauren Bacall. So, I mean, not the best behavior. And, of course, Don had his 50 Shades of Dawn episode. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I want to do the creators of The Shield for not knowing how to do a show.
I think we should blame FX for probably putting in a
That's
lot of those
probably
restraints
true.
on them.
But yeah, I'm not pleased with them right now. But yeah, Don is mine. I also almost wanted to give it to Abe. Because Abe is a moron.
This is probably our last chance to give it to him.
Well, sure.
Yeah, he wasn't great this week.
I really don't like him. Like it just although I'm trying to think if he's just because it's bad guy of the week. I don't know if he counts for jerk off of the week. I don't know if that's I could still fit Abe into that. Fuck him. I was gonna put Abe in here. We're not gonna see him again.
I'm gonna join you. We'll just push Abe through here.
Yeah. We're not seeing him again, so fuck him. He's
going
a
away
bad guy.
present.
Yeah, we got to handle so yeah. But yeah,
so
sucks.
Yeah, Abe, trash.
So who did you vote for, Mark? Sorry, my wife and me were talking.
I'm gonna go with Abe. Yeah.
You're going Abe? Who are you going?
Yeah, we're gonna take Abe, push him through. I mean, Don had just had 2 weeks in a row, And really, he was only bad in the.
What are we
first
doing?
episode.
Voter? Or are we doing voter fatigue already? Like, oh, he's already got 2 Best Picture winners. Do we need a third?
I mean, I gave him the 3-peat. Like I had him in the finale,
Yeah,
and then
you gave
let's
it to
do
him after when Shane killed Lem. Mark was like, "But Dawn."
Yeah,
Like-
it's still crazy how that one was. But yeah, I think Abe's a pretty good one. Abe just like sure
Only
it's bad guy.
because it's our
He
last
just-
chance and we haven't given it to him before.
He was
so.
just dumb guy of the week. Like he had a bag that he could have just rode. Peggy's in it for the long haul with you, Abe, and you just completely just fumbled everything. So that's fair. I will agree with you with Abe.
Yeah.
Is Stan the one that she killed? That's his name?
Yeah, Stan. Yeah.
Stan.
Stan's her buddy.
Stan might have the best line in the world. He's like, stand up. I was like, I can't right now. I'm like, that whole situation was so funny to me. But yeah, so that's the episode.
Yeah.
Had a great overall. So next week,
3 Mad Men, 3 Sopranos, 2 Shield. So Mad Men and Shield are going to be wrapping up their season 6s, and you're going to be hitting your midway stride.
okay, we'll be back next week to discuss it. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Let's take it a little slower. Wake up breakfast. On the
I'm a different kind of cop.
I don't want to do your dirty work no more.